friends, this is the Mrs. Volfie from our half-acre homestead, and it's coming up on major harvest and butchering season, so I've got to clean out my freezer. And what I have here, I've got a chicken. I'm not sure if this is a turkey or a goose, and another chicken. I'm going to can these up to make more room in the freezer. I'll be doing a series on cleaning stuff out of the freezer and canning it so that nothing goes to waste. Now, many people have asked if I ever cooked in my pressure canners. Absolutely, just a big pressure cooker. So I've taken my tallest one and given it a really good scouring and scrub. And I've put a rack on the bottom because we don't want our food sitting on the bottom. I've also got a gallon of water in here. Now in this canner, I have a goose and 2 chickens, 2 bay leaves, a handful of peppercorns, well, not a handful, say a teaspoon. And I'm gonna throw in 3 carrots, stalk and all. I just made sure they were clean. 3 stalks of celery, 1 decent sized onion, and about a tablespoon of pickling salt. Not only is this going to give a beautiful flavor to our meat, it is also going to make a delicious broth. And I have to get at it because I have more than 1 canner to do of this. The lid is on, and I've turned it on high. And as soon as it sprouts a steady stream of steam, I'll time it for 10 minutes, and then I'll put a 10-pound weight on it, and I will pressure cook it for 90 minutes. Now, I've been doing this for quite some time, and I've had people say, 90 minutes, blah, 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 blah. Some people will do it shorter, but I do it for 90 minutes because I want the meat to fall right off the bone. All right? Okay, so this has been venting a steady stream of steam for 10 minutes. On goes a 10-pound weight, and I'll set my timer for 90 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is this is my stock pot. And this is the 1 pressure cooker or pressure canner. And I am going to dump. And I had to let it cool overnight. I'm going to dump it in here very slowly. This is why you allow it to cool. And set it back on the canner. And I'm going to fill my stock pot with the broth. And then I'm going to repeat the process with my other canner. Pot number 2. Oh. Perfect. That is a lot of broth. Okay, so here's a bowl for the stuff that we can't use, but that's still edible for the pigs, like the carrots, the celery, the chicken skin. Here's a bag for the bones, and here's my bowl that I'm going to put up my cut up meat in. And here's what I got, a nice big bowl of poultry meat. I have a milk bag full of bones. And this is what I call meat and veg mush. And I will give some to the dogs and some to the pigs. Interestingly enough, I don't have a turkey wishbone here, but here's some wishbones. This is a goose wishbone. There's a chicken wishbone. And there's a guinea hen wishbone. Cool, eh? Now this bowl is going to go into the fridge with the broth. As you remember, I put it in the fridge to chill it so I can take the fat off it. And tomorrow I'll start canning. These are Tatler lids. I'm using them because I no longer trust the store-bought lids, the disposable ones, especially when I'm canning meat, which can be sitting in my pantry for months to years. But they've been washed and rinsed, and I'm just steaming them so I don't have to dig through boiling water to get to them. Okay, so here's the chicken broth we drained yesterday. And I'm going to just skim the fat off. Now this is called schmaltz. You can keep this fat for frying potatoes, for anything like that, because it's delicious and it's much more healthy for you than, say, shortening. And this you can save for putting on frying potatoes or whatever, but I'm actually going to give this to the pigs because I don't need it right now. So here's our chicken, our jars fresh out of the dishwasher, our lids. I brought them to a boiling steam and then I just turned it down and now they're staying hot. Here's my first canner. This is one of the canners I used to cook the chicken in, so it has been scrubbed and washed. And now it has 3 liters, or roughly, depending on the manufacturer's requirements. I have the required amount of water in the bottom with a splash, like a 1/4 cup of vinegar to keep the jars from clouding. Okay, so there's some really big, beautiful pieces of chicken in here, like this. That's like a half a breast or a breast of chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push this down into the jar. See if I can find another nice big piece. There we go. Because that's actually a big meal. That's a full meal for Papa and I, that amount of chicken. And now I'm going to top it up with broth. My broth is seasoned and does have salt, but you do not have to add salt if you are pressure canning. Know that, folks. You do not have to add salt if you're pressure canning. Top this up to 1 inch from the top. Always, always debubble. Wipe your rim. Now I'm going to show you how I put my Tatler lids on. Okay? I take it out of the pot with the ring. I take the rubber ring out of the pot with a fork. It looks fussy, but it's actually easier than any other way. And then put your lid on. Then you put your ring on and you tighten it down as far as it'll go and then turn it back a 1/4 turn, okay? And into the canner that goes. Okay, so here is our 7 quarts of chicken and broth. And now we're just going to lock our lid in place. And when this begins to vent a steady stream of steam, we will time it for 10 minutes. It's on high. Okay, so I've set my timer for 10 minutes because as you can see, this is producing a steady stream of steam. And as soon as this hits a steady stream of steam for 10 minutes, we'll put our 10-pound weight on. Now that is for people who live 1,000 feet above sea level or less. So if you live more than 1,000 feet above sea level, please follow your manufacturer's directions for canning. So my thing just jiggled, which means I've set the timer for 90 minutes, and it's 90 minutes for quarts, and I believe, double check, 60 minutes for pints. Okay, the timer has gone off, so we're going to shut it off. And we're going to let this cool down. We're not going to jiggle it, the weight. Never ever try to rapid cool your canner. Cooling it down takes a long time, overnight sometimes, but it's a part of the canning process. You have to let it cool down naturally. Don't jiggle the weight. For heaven's sake, don't plunge it into cold water, and do not try and take the lid off. So we'll see you when this is cooled down. Here we go. But all these lids are popped down. Now I had some, isn't that beautiful? Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I had some leftovers, so I made some soup and gravy. And the gravy I made by using broth and putting clear gel in. Now folks, you may want to heat the broth and stir the clear gel in. Don't just stir it into cold broth because it makes this big, beautiful glob on the bottom. So, oh well, the broth's still good on top. But I got 7 beautiful quarts of chicken and broth. Some have more chicken, but look at, some have more broth. But look at the nice big sizes, nice big chunks of chicken in there. This is the Mrs. Volfie from our half-acre homestead saying, if you have last year's meat still in the freezer, and you want to preserve it for at least another 3 years, can it up. Waste not, want not. Take care. God bless.